Hi, I hope that you are doing absolutely fantastic. So today we are going to do our second online lesson for English. You are going to need your English book. We are going to be completing activity 9 because you ended up doing some of it yesterday and now we are going to complete the rest today. So we are going to be working on the pages 32 to 34. I hope that you enjoy this lesson and that you understand the concepts that are going to be taught. So here we've got it's referring to the same comprehension or paragraph that we read yesterday, but I've included them in this video as well, just so that you can refer back to it. Is social media bad for us? It's neither good nor bad. Social media allows us to stay in touch with people we know in a very efficient way, especially when those people are in far-flung places. The problem is that social media engagement has a very addictive quality. In our hunter-gatherer days, we evolved what neuroscientists call novelty detectors. 10,000 years ago, things didn't change very fast. So if something novel presented itself, it was a good adaptive strategy to pay attention. We evolved a chemical system whereby we get a little shot of dopamine that makes us feel good every time we encounter something new. Our ancestors with good novelty detectors were more likely to remember the location of a new fruit tree or a novel way of catching fish. Today, every Facebook update is a novelty and it engages the dopamine system. Dopamine is the chemical that releases when you eat a chocolate, when gamblers win a bet, and that gets people addicted to cocaine. Social media also becomes very addictive, and successful people enforce time limits and times of the day when they engage with it. Okay, we've now reached our activity. Bias and prejudice are often confused and taken to mean the same thing. They are not. One shows bias by taking sides unreasonably in a discussion or argument. Just as in the game of bowls, a bowling wood has a bias and veers to one side or the other. So an opinion can be said to be biased, unfairly favoring one side. Bias may well be caused by prejudice. When one prejudges someone, one is guilty of thinking that person has characteristics that are not necessarily real or true. One is making a judgment before considering the evidence. A. Skim the passage on social media looking for statements that display either bias and or prejudice. Are there any? If so, point them out. So, you need to now scan the passage and see if the author has unfairly taken a certain side. So if he has said social media is horrible or social media is absolutely wonderful. So if he has unfairly veered to either of those sides, you need to point it out. Then you also need to see if there are any signs of prejudice. So this is where he has prejudged something without doing research. B. Explain how the first 3 sentences of the passage plainly illustrate the writer's fairness or impartiality. So what this means is that you need to explain how the sentences in the first 3 lines, the first 3 sentences in the paragraph show that he has not chosen a side. He has been fair in what he has written. C. Look at the content of the article. After the first 3 sentences, what has the writer set out to do? What is his intention after he has announced that social media are neither good nor bad? So you need to figure out, why did he write this passage? Was it to convince people of something? Was it to give them more information? Was it to explain to them the positives or the negatives of social media? So why did he write this? Why did he want people to read this? What is he trying to get people to understand? That is what you need to answer for C. Okay, so now we've got a cartoon We can see that there's a man and he is holding his phone very, very tightly and he's got a big grin on his face, so he's obviously happy. And on his phone, we can see the Facebook icon, which we know is a part of social media. And then he says, I love my phone because all my friends live in it. Now, this can be seen as quite funny because obviously his friends don't all live in the phone, but it's almost as if they do, because whether he's with them or not, he can still speak to them and even spend time with them if you think about video chatting and seeing their pictures and seeing what they're doing. So even though he is not with them and he is not living with them and they are not living in his phone, it almost feels like they are because many people post whatever they are doing on social media for others to see. Okay, here we've got our activity. Explain the joke in this cartoon. So based off of what I just said, you should be able to answer this question. 2. What message is the cartoonist trying to convey? So why did the cartoonist create this cartoon? What is he trying to get people to listen to or to understand or to think about? Often when people create something, whether it's a book or a cartoon or music, they want to portray a message. They want to tell other people something. So what is he trying to do with this cartoon? This is the end of your activity. I'm sure that you have done wonderfully. I look forward to doing the next lesson with you.